等我 set 翻好啲嘢先，先哭撚咗。我唔知我今年咧啱啱出翻嚟之後咧，試咗好多即係叫做智能做 V 嚟嘅第一次，包括例如今次咁樣，我竟然瞓過籠，我竟然瞓過籠。陰公，雖然我琴晚呢個係我翻嘢，跟住然之後頭先我一陣間先講咩就 send 埋個Chatroom 先，等一等。得 OK，好冇問題。哇，得感謝阿 Chatroom 神今次唔玩嘢。早晨Alex，我估唔到我竟然會，你知唔知頭先係咩事？頭先我瞓晏，頭先即係我唔係即係連瞓晏覺，因為我晏晝要起身 set up 啲，坐起身 set up 嘢。跟住然之後咁我 set up 完啲嘢，跟住然之後我攤翻上床嗰度瞓覺瞓着咗。咁我通常係開台之前半個鐘我會醒啦，即係我6點半開台，咁我5點10啊6點鐘我會醒嚇喂，早晨啊 Wolf。跟住然之後咧，我6點鐘醒咗。我6點鐘醒，因為我喺外面梳化瞓，我中意瞓梳化多過瞓自己張床晏覺嘅話。跟住然之後咁樣我翻自己房啦，坐喺度啦，跟住開燈啦，然之後開着晒所有直播 app 啊嗰啲，開埋 YouTube 喺度。然之後我坐喺張凳度，然之後我望一望個鐘，唔係喎，搭1啫喎，有啲仲有啲眼瞓喎。我一陣間又唔想飲 Monster 喎。不如呢個瞌5分鐘啊，跟住然之後我直接拉低咗我自己張凳，然之後瞌埋咗隻眼，因為我一直保持清晰，我本身打算係閉目養神5分鐘，然之後再眨擘大眼嘅時候，18點31，18點31，認真啊！跟住然之後我真係哇大 panic！我頭先瞓晏覺，我已經發惡夢咧，我冇 V 做噶啦，我真係總之我發惡夢又發生咗啲好奇怪嘅東西啦。不過我醒翻嘅時候，好彩發現係發夢啦嚇跟住然之後哇頂你個肺真係哇！今日我連續俾做 V 呢一樣嘢嚇2輪啊！你哋話死唔死啊？講完點解遲到啊嚇？咁我相信大家睇到個熒幕咧都覺得好奇怪啊！乜鬼嘢啊？咁事關咧，即係呢個咧，可以同大家講下咧，嚟緊咧，今個禮拜我要去考 IELTS， 我終於去考 IELTS 嚟嘅，我要去考 IELTS， 我到而家我仲未溫過書，我冇睇過任何嘢，但係我禮拜6去考我禮拜6去考 IELTS， 到而家乜嘢都冇睇過，所以咧，我知道呢樣嘢咧，大家聽落應該會好無聊，覺得邊有人開台做啲咁嘅嘢㗎？即係呢個邊有人開台會做卷嘅咩？但係咧，我因為我接落嚟幾日咧，即係翻工時間非常忙咧，所以我非常之自私地用開台時間嚟，希望大家陪我做一次呢個 exercise。係啦，做完呢個 exercise 我哋就去打機啦。咁一開始應該會好撚悶嘅，因為好悶嘅，好純粹係我開台做卷啊。係啊，我開台不過做一份 listening 啦，即係叫做話呢個最起碼嗱，其實呢一個網咧，我都係啱咧晏晝嘅時候我去準備嘅時候咧，即係我有問 friend 啦，就話你哋去考 IELTS 啊，你去考 IELTS 咁你哋會唔會有呢啲mock 啊，有啲 exercise 可以做咧？佢抌咗呢個網俾我，跟住然之後就裏面有 reading 啊，有 writing 啊，有 listening 之類嗰啲，咁我梗係唔會，我梗係唔會做晒全部嘢㗎啦，我梗係唔會做晒全部嘢，即係大家瞓着覺啦，係咪先？咁所以咧，我淨係會做一篇 listening 嘅啫，我淨係會做一篇 listening，而且我自己都要知道佢哋 listening 係點考，因為我當年考試嘅時候，英文 listening 係我最大嘅陰影嚟。點解咧？因為佢一播個 tape 嘅時候，我發現咧，佢裡面係個印度人喺度講英文。我覺得我嗰次冇唔合格咧，簡直係奇蹟啊！所以我要睇下咧，究竟 IELTS 啲 listening 咧，我估應該係正常嘅即係佢哋成日話 IELTS 會比即係我哋平時學開英文會簡單啲啊嘛，佢哋講啊，唔係我講啊，我話溫啊，遲啲都要考啊！你都要考 IELTS，百分之你唔係去英國嘅咩？你去咗英國都要 keep 住考嘅，即係我唔知啊，因為好似 IELTS 係會過期嘅，啲人話，但係就。 但係就其實你唔係去，即係我唔知啲其他地方使唔使呢個叫做keep 住逼要你考啊，即係可能話你移民英國要你 keep 住考啊咁之類嗰啲係啦。咁所以咧今日咧嘅流程咧大概就係我一開始會做一次 listening。入籍要 OK， 即係你去英國翻工啊嗰啲要去考一次，跟住然之後入籍要再考。咁你入籍係考咩？因為我唔知大家知唔知啊，或者大家有冇考過 IELTS？ 因為其實 IELTS 係有分兩個嘅，我冇記錯都係有分 academic 同埋呢個叫做即係 academic 即係話你如果過去讀書嘅話你要考啦，跟住然之後你仲要去考，你仲有一種好似係 business 定係乜嘢？即係總之係 for 你去過去工作用嘅 IELTS 啦，係啦。我唔知入籍或者移民要用咩，我淨係知道讀書係有考 academic 咯。其實連呢份係 academic 定 business 我都唔知嘅，但只不過我見到佢話兩份通用啊嘛，咁我就求其攞咗嚟做啊，當即係叫做試下。我相信都大同小異啦，最多係裡面啲難度有分別嘅啫，係嘛？好，咁事不宜遲啊！咁今日大概嘅流程就係一開始大家陪我做一次一個 listening， 然之後我哋就玩呢個叫做I'm a part-time worker 啦嚇。嗰隻 game 我冇玩過，係人哋推薦我玩嘅咋。因為我而家咧真係我腦係好空白嘅，我唔知道我而家已經啲開台嘅 idea 咧比起以前咧真係少咗好多，所以咧有好多節目都係而家人哋推薦我去做。其實今次呢個 IELTS 都係佢哋建議我，佢哋話反正你都冇時間，你又要開台，咁你不如開台嘅時候做啦。即係然之後佢哋話呢個咩即係佢打到啊，根本就冇其他 B 開個台去做 IELTS 啊。不過悶唔悶係第二回事啊嚇。咁我咪試下咯，人一世咪一世係咪先？反正開一次嘅啫呢台係咪？咁咪試下咯，即係覺得有趣嘅咁咪 OK 咯。睇下之後揾唔揾其他卷做啊。要考 Live in HK 我 pass 咗，考 iOS 係 iOS 考 iOS 係咩？考蘋果嗰個，考蘋果嗰個 OS，iOS 係手機嗰個。考 iOS 係最狠一關，即係咩意思啊？唔太明。咁呢個我哋事不宜遲啊！盡快打機啦！呢個咩 Listening to the audio for part one，listen now，咁就要呢個聽呢個 listening 啊！我要喚起大家呢個我有開聲，我有開聲，我要喚起大家悲慘嘅回憶咯！我希望大家唔好有呢個 PTSD 啊！以前考呢個英文 listening， 聽下先。喂，佢唔播嘅喂。Please check your network connection and try again。得好，我以為佢咁犀利 detect 到我開緊直播，所以俾我播添。好似太細聲，我較大聲少少先。
There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work.
IELTS，OK，唔使條 OK，明白。
The test is in 4 sections.
係喎。
At the end of the test,
just in case 如果有人想一齊做，雖然我相信應該冇㗎啦，你應該睇我做。不過 just in case 如果你有人想一齊做嘅話，你可以一齊做，等條 link 上係啦。我等2分鐘啦。just in case 有人想一齊做啦，或者你想睇下啲題目啊，你唔想睇我 mon， 你想睇下啲題目或者乜嘢嘅話，我等一條 link 上。佢呢一個網係有埋其他嘅剝卷去做嘅，咁你有興趣想去試嘅話，可以自己去試咁樣啊。我真係我唔知你有冇人，即係你有冇人估唔到係我竟然係冇考過 IELTS， 即係我平時開台成日講英文啊嗰啲嘢，即係我唔係為咗 show off 嗰啲嘢，我英文好廢嘅都老實即係呢個咩，即係得把口我唔識寫出嚟咯。我以前學英文即係不嬲都係我以前都應該係有講過，我學英文全部都係睇電影啊打機嗰啲學翻嚟。你話我真係有冇特登去過即係叫做話去操英文啊，或者真係揾個鬼佬過嚟去教我英文嗰個又真係冇。係啦，好咁開始啊。
Test 1. You will hear a number of different recordings. And you will have to answer questions.
我已經難以想像咧，而家中途入嚟睇我台嗰啲，即係而家個封面咧係呢個 part-time worker，係咪已經入到嚟之後 YouTube 你用咩做要啊？我係咪撳錯台啊
？The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to section 1.
即係佢另外其實有一張 answer sheet。
You will hear a conversation between a clerk at the inquiries desk of a transport company and a man who is asking for travel information.
有
First,
條友
you
要
have some time to look at questions 1 to
有條
5.
友要去呢啲咩啊？有條友要去呢個嘅類似交通工具嗰啲諮詢嗰啲新聞處啊，去問呢啲交通嘅詳情啦話咩 express train leaves at 第一條應該時間啦，第二條 nearest station
You will
is
see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Good morning, Travel Link. How can I help you?
Good morning. I live in Bayswater and I'd like to get to Harbour City tomorrow before 11 a.m.
Well, to get to Bayswater...
No, I live in Bayswater. My destination is Harbour City.
Oh, sorry, right. So that's Bayswater to Harbour City. Are you planning to travel by bus or train?
The man wants to go to Harbour City, so Harbour City has been written in the space.
OK
Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will
哇
not
死
hear the
火啦！
recording
咁
a
如果我唔
second
識
time.
串嗰個地方名咁
Listen
點算
carefully
啊？
and answer questions
喂，大佬唔
1
係個個
to
國家都有
5.
Harbour City 啊嘛，我喺
Good
香港都
morning,
冇。
Travel Link. How can I help you?
Good morning. I live in Bayswater and I'd like to get to Harbour City tomorrow before 11 a.m.
Well, to get to Bayswater...
No, I live in Bayswater. My destination is Harbour City.
Oh, sorry. Right, so that's Bayswater to Harbour City. Are you planning to travel by bus or train?
I don't mind really. Whichever option is faster, I suppose.
Well, if you catch a railway express, that'll get you there in under an hour. Let's see. Yes, if you can make the 9:30 a.m. express, I'd recommend you do that.
Great. Which station does that leave from?
Hellendale is the nearest train station to you.
Did you say Helensvale?
No, Hellendale. That's Helendale.
What's the best way to get to the Helendale station then?
Well, hang on a minute while I look into that. Now, it seems to me that you have two options. Option 1 would be to take the 7:06 bus from the Bayswater Shopping Centre to Central Street. When you get there, you transfer to another bus which will take you to the station. Or the second option, if you don't mind walking a couple of kilometres, is to go directly to Central Street and get straight on the bus going to the train station.
OK. Which bus is that?
The 792 will take you to the station.
I guess the walk will be good for me, so that might be the better option. What time do I catch the 792?
There are two buses that should get you to the station on time. One just before 9 o'clock and one just after. But look, at that time of the morning it might be better to take the earlier one, just in case there's a traffic jam or something. The 8:55 is probably safer than the 9:05.
Yeah, I don't want to miss the train, so I'll be sure to get on the 5 to 9 bus.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation,
OK
you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10.
OK， 我屌佢老味，等佢講 Hellendale 啊，嚇到仆街，黐線，點識串啊 Hellendale？同埋個 street 字呢使唔使大街啊 ？Jesus Christ！唉，不過是但啦，唔理啦。我希望佢呢個手下留情啊，佢唔會因為呢個我寫咗世間。
Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
By the way, how much will I have to pay in fares?
Well, you can get a ticket on the bus for $1.80 cash, and you'll need $10 each way for the train.
What?
Wait, do you have a Travel Link card?
No, but I can get one before tomorrow.
Okay, well that'll make it considerably cheaper then. The bus will cost $1.50 each way, and the train to Harbour City will still cost $10 because you'll be travelling during peak hours in the morning, so no savings there, I'm afraid. However, if you could come back at an off-peak time...
What does that mean?
Well, if you could start your return journey before 5 p.m. or later than 7:30 in the evening...
Actually, I wasn't planning on coming back till at least 8 o'clock anyway.
So in that case, you can make quite a saving if you use your Travel Link card. You did say you were planning to purchase one, didn't you?
Yes, I'll pick one up later today.
Good. That would mean your return train journey would only cost you $7.15 with your card.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Actually, there is. Do you know if I can use the Travel Link card on ferries?
If you're thinking of the Harbour City ferries that go back and forth between the North and South Bank, those are the commuter ferries, then yes. A one-way trip costs $4.50, but with your card you'd make a 20% saving and only pay $3.55.
So $3.55 for the commuter ferry. What about the tour boats?
You mean the tourist ferries that go upriver on sightseeing tours? No, they only take cash or credit card. They're not part of the Travel Link company.
Oh, I see. I don't suppose you know the cost of a tour?
In actual fact, I do, because I took a friend on the trip upriver just last week. We decided on the afternoon tour, and that was $35 each, but I understand that you could do the whole day for $65.
Thank you. You've been a great help.
My pleasure. Enjoy your day out.
That is the end of section 1.
咩叫
You now
community
have
ferry
half
啊
a minute to check your answers.
咩叫 community ferry 啊 ？What the fuck is that？ 咩？Hello，咩英文嘅？我而家做緊，我而家做緊IELTS 嗰份英文 exercise paper，因為我嚟緊星期六要考 IELTS。乜撚嘢叫 community ferry 啊 ？Jesus Christ 啊！有一條嘢我阿 Lida 呢條已經完啦，我都唔知我自己串咗咩出嚟。希望下一條 afternoon 我係啱噶。我係落呢個。
Now turn to section 2.
我一開始就係識 community ferry 啊，但問題唔係 community ferry 咯，佢係講 community ferry 啊，定係條友有啲咩口音咩 accent 啊？我覺得 community ferry 係 make sense 嘅喎，但係 community ferry， 唉是但啦，唔理啦，冇啊已經過咗。我相信我估過呢啲應該就係 play once 嘅就應該，佢唔會再放多次啦，係咯，喂。咁我都無謂再聽多次啦，我即係一陣間對完答案再聽多次啦，或者睇下個答案究竟佢係點串啦嚇。好啊，睇下先呢個，跟住就11到14 section 2，哇佢有幾個 section 啊？佢有4個 section 喎。我本身以為30條係要放落2個 section 度，定係有4個。我繼續啊。嚇冇想象中咁難啊！白詠芝你英文好過我啦，已經你已經好過我啦，我連 part 1都有一條係唔 sure 啊，死得啦真係咁好，唉，凍過水啊
Section 2. You will hear a guidance counsellor talking to a group of students. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14.
Which counsellors should you see write the correct letter A, B, C next to a question? OK， 即係如果你係遇到以下嘅問題嘅話，咁你應該去見邊條友 ？OK。
Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 14.
Hello everyone. I'm the counselling administrator here at St Ives College, and I've been asked to come and talk to you about our counselling team and the services that we offer. We have 3 professional counsellors here at St Ives, Louise Bagshaw, Tony Denby and Naomi Flynn. They each hold daily one-on-one sessions with students, but which counsellor you see will depend on a number of factors. If you've never used a counsellor before, then you should make an appointment with Naomi Flynn. Naomi specialises in seeing new students and offers a preliminary session where she will talk to you about what you can expect from counselling, followed by some simple questions about what you would like to discuss. This can be really helpful for students who are feeling a bit worried about the counselling process. Naomi is also the best option for students who can only see a counsellor outside office hours. She is not in on Mondays, but starts early on Wednesday mornings and works late on Thursday evenings, so you can see her before your first class or after your last class on those days. Louise staffs our drop-in centre throughout the day. If you need to see someone without a prior appointment, then she is the one to visit. Please note that if you use this service, then Louise will either see you herself or place you with the next available counsellor. If you want to be sure to see the same counsellor on each visit, then we strongly recommend you make an appointment ahead of time. You can do this at reception during office hours or by using our online booking form. Tony is our newest addition to the counselling team. He is our only male counsellor, and he has an extensive background in stress management and relaxation techniques. We encourage anyone who is trying to deal with anxiety to see him. Tony will introduce you to a full range of techniques to help you cope with this problem, such as body awareness, time management, and positive reinforcement.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to
佢俾我
look
嘅
at
資訊
questions
多到我以為我 miss 咗
15
呢
to
條題目
20.
添，陰公。Louis 白兄，法國佬嚟，白兄。Target group 咩 students？ OK， all students especially all students specially 乜嘢？跟住然之後下面 anxiety 佢呢啲。
Now listen and answer questions 15 to 20.
Each semester, the counselling team runs a number of small group workshops. These last for 2 hours and are free to all enrolled students. Our first workshop is called Adjusting. We've found that tertiary education can come as a big shock for some people. After the structured learning environment of school, it is easy to feel lost. In this workshop, we will introduce you to what is necessary for academic success. As you might expect, we're targeting first-year students with this offering. Getting organised follows on from the first workshop. Here, we're going to help you break the habit of putting things off, get the most out of your time, and discover the right balance between academic and recreational activities. With getting organised, we're catering to a broader crowd, which includes all undergraduates and postgraduates. Next up is a workshop called Communicating. The way people interact here may be quite different to what you're used to, especially if you've come from abroad. We'll cover an area that many foreign students struggle with, how to talk with teachers and other staff. We'll cover all aspects of multicultural communication. International students tend to get a lot out of this class, so we particularly encourage you to come along. But I must say that sometimes students from a local background find it helpful too, so everyone is welcome. The anxiety workshop is held later on in the year and deals with something you will all be familiar with, the nerves and anxiety that come when exams are approaching. Many students go through their entire academic careers suffering like this, but you don't have to. Come to this workshop and we'll teach you all about relaxation and how to breathe properly, as well as meditation and other strategies to remain calm. We've tailored this workshop to anyone who is going to sit exams. Finally, we have the motivation workshop. The big topic here is how to stay on target and motivated during long-term research projects. This workshop is strictly for research students, as less advanced students already have several workshops catering to their needs. Well, that's it. Thanks for your
Jesus!
time. If you have any questions or want more information about our services, do come and see us at the counselling service.
哇！呢度
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
我覺得我唔使考啦，我覺得我唔使去考啦。最後我正完啦而家。It's over， 完全 miss 咗最後嗰一條。Jesus！ Oh no！ 睇下先，不過我肯定 nervous 係咪咁長啊 ？nervous 係 nervous 係 nervous 係咪 nervous？ 咁 nerve 應該係 nerves 啊。Oh no！
Now turn to section 3.
咩？我呢個20條呢個跳田呢個 is over。哇！呢度，唉冇啦，我跳 section 3啊。拜咗呢個
Section 3.
停一停先。定期更新下入到嚟嘅中間入到嚟嘅朋友可能唔知我做緊咩係我做緊 IELTS 嘅試卷啊。係啊，好啊，開始啊，我做緊 listening 啊。條 link 喺上面，有興趣
You
自己
will
撳
hear a
入去。
conversation between a tutor and 2 students who are preparing for an English literature test. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24.
time period。What the？ 我聽啲人講 IELTS 啲神定係考 MC 啊！啲咩嚟㗎？
Listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Hello, Lorna, Ian. Glad you could make it. You're the only two who put your names down for this literature tutorial, so let's get started, shall we? I want to run over some aspects of the novel The Secret Garden with you before the test next week. Be sure to take some notes and ask questions if you need to.
Hey, Lorna, have you got a spare pen?
Sure, here you are.
Okay, so the story follows two key characters. You should refer to them as protagonists, who go by the names of Mary Lennox and Colin Craven. The story is set shortly after the turn of the 20th century, and the narrative tracks the development of the protagonists as they learn to overcome their own personal troubles together.
That's quite a common storyline, isn't it?
Yes, you're right, Lorna. So what can you tell me about the character of Mary?
Well, in the beginning, she is an angry, rude child who was orphaned after a cholera outbreak and forced to leave India and move to the United Kingdom to her uncle's house in Yorkshire.
That's right. And there she meets Colin, who spends his days in an isolated room, believing himself to be permanently crippled, with no hope of ever gaining the ability to walk. The two strike up a friendship, and gradually learn, by encouraging each other, that they can both become healthy, happy, and fulfilled in life.
Will we need to remember a lot of these details for the exam?
Just the basic outline. Examiners don't want to read a plot summary. They know what the book is about. Focus on narrative techniques instead, such as point of view.
What's that mean?
It's all about how we see the story. This story, for example, is written from the perspective of what is called an omniscient narrator. Omniscient means all-knowing. So, as readers, we get to see how all the characters feel about things, what they like and don't like, and what their motivations are in the story.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions
Okay.
25 to 30.
OK， 佢頭先唔係話 at the end of 20th century 咩？點解個 time period 又 early？At the end of 20th century 係咪等於 early in the 21st century 啊？Physical items that represent 乜嘢啦 ？The Robin Redbreast。
Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Won't it be hard to write a technical analysis? After all, it's a kid's book.
Well, it was initially pitched at adults, you know. But over the years it has become seen as a more youth-orientated work. And you're right in a sense. The simple vocabulary and absence of foreshadowing make the story very easy to follow and ideally suited for children. But that doesn't mean there isn't much to analyse. Look at the symbolism, for instance.
Symbols are things, right? Material things like objects that stand for abstract ideas.
Absolutely, yes. And the author uses many of them. There's the robin redbreast, for example, which symbolises the wise and gentle nature that Mary will soon adopt. Note that the robin is described as not at all like the birds in India. Roses are used as well, as a personal symbol for Mistress Craven. You'll see they're always mentioned alongside her name, and Mistress Craven's portrait can also be interpreted as a symbol of her spirit.
Are symbols just another name for motifs?
No, motifs are a bit different. They don't have as direct a connection with something the way that a symbol does. Motifs are simply recurring elements of the story that support the mood.
Are there any in this novel?
Yes, two very important ones. The Garden of Eden is a motif. It comes up a few times in connection with the garden of the story. And then you've got the role that secrets play in the story. In the beginning, everything is steeped in secrecy, and slowly the characters share their secrets, and in the process move from darkness to lightness, metaphorically. But also, in the case of Colin, quite literally. His room in the beginning has the curtains drawn, and he appears at the end in the brightness of the garden.
Anything else we need to know about?
Yes. Nearly all novels explore universal concepts that everyone has experienced. Things like love, family, loneliness, friendship. These are called themes. The Secret Garden has a few themes that all centre on the idea of connections. The novel explores, for example, the way that health can determine and be determined by our outlook on life. As Colin's health improves, so too do his perceptions of his strength and possibility. The author also examines the link between our environment and our physical and emotional prosperity. The dark, cramped rooms of the manor house stifle the development of our protagonists. The garden and natural environments allow them to blossom, just as the flowers do. Finally, this book looks at connections between individuals, namely Mary and Colin. This necessity of human companionship is the novel's most significant theme, because none of their development as individuals would have occurred without their knowing each other. Well, that about sums it up, I think.
That's a great help, thanks.
Yes, thanks very much.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
哇！黐線！嗱，我 continue to part 4咪仲有 part 4咋先？喂，仲有31至到幾多條啊？仲有31至4，仲有31至40喎。等我開未？我以為得30條，唔好意思。咁我呢個做埋下一 part 我先發表呢、個。發表初見啊！黐線，我整個初見 IELTS 好似仲難過初見魂系 game 咁樣嘅，做乜鬼嘢啊？39、40，開台温書，我覺得呢啲唔係温書可以做到嘅咯。即係佢呢啲，即係點講啊？即係你而家做呢啲 past paper 或者做呢啲 mock exam 或者 mock test 咧，其實係 more 咧你要知道佢點考咯。你係冇可能準備到嘅，好老實呢啲嘢，你只可以準備你自己個心理嘅啫。你唔通點啊？你駁佢出邊一段 audio 啊？真係係我贏了啫，因為會 pass 我，然之後 IELTS 2分啊！真係我覺得如果我唔準備入去考，我真係會攞個2分出嚟，好老實。IELTS 唔知大家知唔知啦嚇，即係滿分係9分，然之後呢個其實佢有冇合格？佢應該冇分合唔合格嘅，只有話你可能話你要去留學或者你要去外國工作，佢需求你要幾多級嘅啫，係啦，佢應該就冇分合唔合格嘅，係啊，即係好，等下先，31至到40 OK， 好啦，咁我哋繼續31至40。做咩 ？Something went wrong。OK， 好。
Section 4. You will hear a talk on the topic of time perspectives. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
個豆要錢㗎，考試唔使錢啊！好有錢啊而家。OK，life fatalistic， 哇！我唔知咩字嚟。fatalistic.
Listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Today, I'm going to be talking about time. Specifically, I'll be looking at how people think about time and how these time perspectives structure our lives. According to social psychologists, there are 6 ways of thinking about time, which are called personal time zones. The first 2 are based in the past. Past positive thinkers spend most of their time in a state of nostalgia, fondly remembering moments such as birthdays, marriages, and important achievements in their life. These are the kinds of people who keep family records, books, and photo albums. People living in the past negative time zone are also absorbed by earlier times, but they focus on all the bad things, regrets, failures, poor decisions. They spend a lot of time thinking about how life could have been. Then, we have people who live in the present. Present hedonists are driven by pleasure and immediate sensation. Their life motto is to have a good time and avoid pain. Present fatalists live in the moment too, But they believe this moment is the product of circumstances entirely beyond their control. It's their fate, whether it's poverty, religion, or society itself. Something stops these people from believing they can play a role in changing their outcomes in life. Life simply is, and that's that. Looking at the future time zone, we can see that people classified as future active are the planners and go-getters. They work rather than play and resist temptation. Decisions are made based on potential consequences, not on the experience itself. A second future-orientated perspective, future fatalistic, is driven by the certainty of life after death and some kind of a judgment day when they will be assessed on how virtuously they have lived and what success they have had in their lives. Okay, let's move on. You might ask, how do these time zones affect our lives? Well, let's start at the beginning. Everyone is brought into this world as a present hedonist. No exceptions. Our initial needs and demands, to be warm, secure, fed, and watered, all stem from the present moment. But things change when we enter formal education. We're taught to stop existing in the moment and to begin thinking about future outcomes. But did you know that every 9 seconds, a child in the USA drops out of school? For boys, the rate is much higher than for girls. We could easily say, well, boys just aren't as bright as girls. But the evidence doesn't support this. A recent study states that boys in America, by the age of 21, have spent 10,000 hours playing video games. The research suggests that they'll never fit in the traditional classroom, because these boys require a situation where they have the ability to manage their own learning environment. Now, let's look at the way we do prevention education. All prevention education is aimed at a future time zone. We say, don't smoke or you'll get cancer. Get good grades or you won't get a good job. But with present-orientated kids, that just doesn't work. Although they understand the potentially negative consequences of their actions, they persist with the behavior because they're not living for the future. They're in the moment right now. We can't use logic, and it's no use reminding them of potential fallout from their decisions or previous errors of judgment. We've got to get in their minds just as they're about to make a choice. Time perspectives make a big difference in how we value and use our time. When Americans are asked how busy they are, the vast majority report being busier than ever before. They admit to sacrificing their relationships, personal time, and a good night's sleep for their success. 20 years ago, 60% of Americans had sit-down dinners with their families, and now only 20% do. But when they're asked what they would do with an 8-day week, they say, oh, that'd be great. They would spend that time laboring away to achieve more. They're constantly trying to get ahead, to get toward a future point of happiness. So, it's really important to be aware of how other people think about time. We tend to think, oh, that person's really irresponsible, or that guy's power hungry. But often, what we're looking at is not fundamental differences of personality, but really just different ways of thinking about time. Seeing these conflicts as differences in time perspective, rather than distinctions of character, can facilitate more effective cooperation between people and get the most out of each person's individual strengths.
That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
我聽咗啲乜撚嘢啊！唔講答，唔講啱與錯，我喺冇睇到你哋 comment 冇分心嘅情況下 miss 咗3個，真得㗎？哇 ！Jesus！ 早晨阿 Marvin 猜啊 ，My English standard is to be challenged today 啊，係啊，啱啊，我嘅 English standard 咯，我覺得我自己真係入去攞2分。
You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the listening answer sheet.
哇！唔係唔辛苦，好小事但係，哇！同埋我覺得好鬼咯，佢下面 multiple choice 點解冇一條嘅答案係 C 嘅？ 究竟最後嗰條係咪 C 咧？佢同時有講過係會 help us better in work， 唔係 help us work together better 同埋 identify people， 好似有聽到過。哇！唔係我會話咯，即係佢頭三版。頭三個即係叫做頭三份卷喺我分咗一下心嘅情況下，我 miss 咗一個。去到後面第四份卷，我冇分過任何心，但係我 miss 咗3個。呢一個幾何級嘅難度提升，會有讓 IELTS 使出全力，我唔使佢使出全力啦，冇啊，冇啊，我而家好似5條5咁攤咗，我嘔血啊！唔得嗱，一陣間睇完答案之後，我要聽翻次 Part 4。我姑且睇一睇個答案先。嗱，我哋睇下啦嚇，9點半啦 ，Helendale 啦 ，Central Street 啦，原來可以串 ST，OK， 792 8.55 180 730 715 Commuter Afternoon CCAB First year, right balance, international students, relaxation, motivation. OK, research 或者 advance 應該去睇條問題先。research 跟住 secret garden 咩？佢唔係話 at the end of the 20th century 咩？Walk, motivations, abstract ideas, roses, darkness to lightness, health, environment, human companionship. Oh my god! 救命！喺度改自己份卷，我都好難受。Pleasure， 應該我再聽多次，我一定要聽多次。咩 is super is 咩 is super你講乜嘢啊 Marfius 啊 poverty 我串錯咗屌 active success 哦 Jesus 我究竟呢度有幾分我會唔會得5啊我死啦我咁鋪我死掉我錯咗幾多條啊1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 40條錯11條 ，oh shit！ 佢有冇話啱幾多條錯幾多條係幾多分㗎？佢冇講，我聽多次先，我聽多次第4先，唔得。
Section 4. You will hear a talk on the topic of time perspectives. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
嗱，我淨係針住31同32去覆場。我要知道呢個，我要知道緊佢幾時有講過，唔得，我唔憤氣佢呢樣講。我串錯字或者寫錯字都算數。
Questions 31 to 40.
Today, I'm going to be talking about time. Specifically, I'll be looking at how people think about time, and how these time perspectives structure our lives. According to social psychologists, there are 6 ways of thinking about time, which are called personal time zones. The first 2 are based in the past. Past positive thinkers spend most of their time in a state of nostalgia, fondly remembering moments such as birthdays, marriages, and important achievements in their life. These are the kinds of people who keep family records, books, and photo albums. People living in the past negative time zone are also absorbed by earlier times.
Okay.
But they focus on all the bad things.
Okay,
Regrets,
negative， 即
failures,
係呢一下填嘅。
poor decisions. They spend a lot of time thinking about how life could have been. Then, we have people who live in the present. Present hedonists are driven by pleasure and immediate sensation. Their life motto is to have a good time and avoid pain. present fatalists live in the moment too, but they believe this moment is the product of circumstances entirely beyond their control. It's their fate, whether it's poverty, religion, or society itself. Something stops these people from believing they can play a role in changing their outcomes in life. Life simply is, and that's that. Looking at the future time zone, we can see that people classified as future active are the planners and go-getters. They work rather than play and resist temptation. Decisions are made based on potential consequences, not on the experience itself. A second future-orientated perspective, future fatalistic, is driven by the certainty of life after death and some kind of a judgment day when they will be assessed on how virtuously they have lived and what success they have had in their lives. Okay, let's move on. You might ask, how do these time zones affect our lives?
看來我英文試卷難度比你英文程度高少少啊！但係啊，少少有個宇宙喺裏面咯。Oh my Jesus！ 啊！ Jesus！ 我呢份卷做咗幾耐？做咗成個鐘頭。是但啦，有錄就夠。我唔知道呢度有冇錄啊嘛，錯11條喎，唔得，做多份唔忿氣。結果今日冇打機，好笑啊！跟住然之後我之後要改咗個封面佢咯。我俾人話我一陣間俾人話我呃稱啊，呃入嚟去睇去睇呢個台啊，死得啦真係。點知今個台得最後15分鐘係打機嘅？笑死！做唔做咗份好咧？做唔做咗份好啊？我驚俾人話封面詐騙啊！真係。你新攞校友柒啊！你唔好再鞭我試啊！人生 online 算係 game 啊！嗱，你哋話做卷定係打機好？做卷係嘛？我改咗個直播個題目佢先，你等一等。我改咗個直播個題目佢先。哎呀 Jesus！ IELTS 做卷。IELTS 做卷陪我做卷 ，OK， 好，嗰陣我今日報後日考，唔係其實我嗰陣時都係想早啲報早啲考嘅，即係又要翻工又要成咁樣做卷啊！好，繼續做 listening， 我中意，原來你中意睇我做卷好叻，唔係其實我知道你唔中意睇我做卷，但係只不過我真係考到好樣衰。好 ，OK， 繼續睇下先，呢個係幾多條啊？睇一睇最後有幾多條先。最後37至到40 ，OK 都係40條嘅。好，嗱認真。你係咪打 IELTS 就係黃？係啊。係啊，我有12分精神啊！唔好分心 ，OK 嘅。今次我 aim 係錯呢個10條以下，嗱錯10條以下當贏啦，我哋錯10條以下 ，OK 嘅，好 ，let's go。咁我而家直接撳咗右邊，即係呢個你見唔到喎，應該 cut 開咗。不過就撳咗隔離右邊有個 free online IELTS listening practice test， 隔離有即係佢有個 listening test 2嘅，咁而家就撳過去嗰度就係做第二個。好 OK。但係奇怪喎，Marvius 你嗰時考嘅時候係咪咁多串字冇 multiple choice 㗎？我覺得佢 multiple choice 得最後5條，我覺得有啲奇怪喎。其實成件事點解我全部都要自己串字嘅？自己即係始終串字嗰個錯同埋失誤率會高好多啊嘛。OK， 好 ，let's go。
Test 1. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your...
唔係應該冇話合格線係，應該話要睇合格線應該係話要睇你要攞幾多分咯，係咯，都係咁樣啊。OK， 係睇下你要攞幾多分咯。IELTS 應該就冇話合唔合格嘅，應該。
Test 1.
即係我相信你攞1以上都算合格㗎啦，係咪？我記得個評分咧1咧係話呢 totally unable to speak and
There will be
use。
time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet.
我呢份我而家做緊 IELTS 嘅 mock， 我停咗佢先。做緊 IELTS 嘅 mock test 個 mock 嗰個 link 喺上面可以撳入去。我哋而家做緊 test 2啊，本身我諗住做一個 test 然之後打機嘅，但係個成績實在太糟糕啦，所以要做多份。温書台啊！
You will hear a conversation between a clerk at the inquiries desk of a transport company and a man who is asking for travel information. First, you have some time to look at questions 1.
咩啊？由 test 1嘅點解？係呢個呢份先啱。
Test 3.
Test
You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear.
咩 test 3啊？Test 3。輕鬆上9次之後，頭先真係錯到仆街啊 ！Test 3 Audio 2，但佢呢度寫 Test 2嘅點解？咩意思啊 ？Test 2 Part 1，咁佢呢度點解係 Test 3 Audio 1啊？跟住佢又冇下一頁嘅喎。See also 嚇？唔太明，照做啦，逐版對啫最多。
Test 3. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work.
較大聲少少先。
All the recordings will be played
最大
once
聲喎。
only. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Section 1. You will hear a telephone conversation between a woman who is selling some furniture and a man who is making inquiries about it. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5.
Construction woods color 顏色啦 ，drawers handles made of 乜嘢？幾多 cm condition price OK 可以嘅，1 to 5啫嘛。
You will see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Hello, Carolyn speaking.
Hello, my name is Lincoln Faraday, and I'm ringing to see if you still have the bedroom furniture that you advertised for sale.
Yes, there are 3 items left. 2 bedside tables and a dressing table.
The woman said she has 3 items available, so 3 has been written in the space. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen,
哇死科！咁
because
如
you
果我
will
填咗
not
阿拉
hear
伯
the
數目字
recording
咁點
a
算？
second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Hello, Carolyn speaking.
Hello, my name is Lincoln Faraday, and I'm ringing to see if you still have the bedroom furniture that you advertised for sale.
Yes, there are 3 items left. 2 bedside tables and a dressing table.
Oh, good. They're just the items I'm after. Tell me, what's the construction of the bedside tables? I mean, what are they made of?
Well, they're a matching pair and they're made of wood. but the wood has been painted. It's not brown anymore. It's been painted cream.
I see.
Each table has a shelf and 2 drawers. Oh, and the drawers have square brass handles. Quite modern and quite nice, really.
And what about the dimensions?
Well, each table is 50 centimetres wide.
That's good. Much bigger than that, and they wouldn't fit beside my bed. I live in an apartment where the bedrooms are quite small. What I really need to know is how tall they are. You see, my bed's quite high.
65 centimetres high and 45 centimetres deep.
Thanks. Just a couple more questions about the bedside tables. What condition are they in, and how much are they?
They're in perfect condition. There isn't a mark on them. I had them painted professionally, you know, so the finish is much better than you'd normally expect. As for how much, I think £15 each would be fair, but I'll only sell them as a pair, so that's £30 all up.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at question 6.
我已經唔想講 it's over，繼續做啦，繼續做啦。我好絕望啊，做到。我覺得我今晚翻工我都會全程喺度聽 listen 嚟嘅。Two are 乜嘢 ？Mirrors, one large, two small, or
Now listen
Okay.
and answer questions 6 to 10.
Now, can you tell me about the dressing table?
Yes, it matches the other tables in colour and style.
Good. How many drawers does it have?
5 altogether. The bottom 2 drawers hold more as they're deep.
And the dimensions? How wide is it? That's all I need to know. It wouldn't be more than 1.5 meters, would it?
Well, just under actually. It's 1.25 metres across.
Does it have a mirror?
3.
Sorry?
It has 3 mirrors, you know, a central one and a narrower one on each side. And they're all adjustable.
I see. And the overall condition of the dressing table?
Well, it has a couple of scratches on the surface, but it's still in good condition, so I'm asking £50.
Could I call round and have a look later today?
What time were you thinking of?
In about half an hour.
Oh, yes, that's fine. By the way, my name is Carolyn Klein. It's on the gate at the front of the house.
Klein. Is that K-L-I-N-E?
That's right. And I live at 19 Domain Road.
Did you say the main road?
No, Domain. D-O-M-A-I-N Road.
That's
Domain
just
expansion!
Grove, isn't it?
Yes. See you soon then.
Yes, in about 30 minutes.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
張 dressing table 1.25 米，一道門幾米？一道門3米係嘛？我想問一道門係咪3米？一道門好似3米啊嘛？咁一道門3米又還好嘅，1.25米好似都正常
Now
嘅
turn。to section 2. Section 2. You will hear an
What?
employee of the sports...
喂，乜撚嘢？呢度都冇 section two。OK， 我係姑且對咗呢一頁先。蜜吐槽係1.2米啊嘛，我聽到佢 1.25 meter 啊嘛，係2.5米差唔多。OK， 門係2米啊。門係2米咁1.2米啊，還好嘅，我覺得好似係正常嘅 dressing table 1.2。OK， 睇咗答案先啦。嗱，佢呢度冇 part two 喎 ，part two 係 you may complete 係啊。Now move on to listening of part two。哦
Super Centre giving a guided tour of the facilities in the centre.
哦，係啊，啱。OK，facility centre 啊。咁佢呢個 listening test answer sheet 係包埋，唔係，唔關事，個答案都係最尾嘅頁。好，咁繼續。早晨，上馬你好啊。咁呢個 part two 啦，我哋。
Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 17.
It's so nice to see so many people here on our open day. I
等
hope
陣，分咗心，重新開始過，啱唔計。
Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 17.
It's so nice to see so many people here on our open day. I hope you'll be impressed by what you see and that you'll all decide to join up. We have tried to cover all aspects of sport and fitness here at the centre. Well, let's start, shall we? As we're standing here at reception, looking down the long corridor, you'll notice the car park on your left, where most of you have parked, asks you to reverse into the parking spaces for safety reasons. Also, this morning, a couple of keen potential members rode their bikes right in through the door instead of leaving their bikes outside there on your right, where the secure bike stands are. You may be wondering why there are so many mothers arriving with little children. As we proceed, you'll see that this first room on your right is a creche, where you can leave your little ones for up to 2 hours and they'll be expertly supervised while you work out. After the creche, on the same side of the corridor, is the male locker room with showers, spa and sauna. Opposite that, on your left, there's a staircase leading to the mezzanine floor. You'll not only get a great view out over the playing fields, but you'll also find a coffee shop and snack bar selling a range of wholesome food and drinks, protein shakes, fruit smoothies, that kind of thing. We won't go up the stairs at this point. I'll give you some time later when you can explore at your leisure. Most of you in the group are women, so next, let me point out the women's locker room, which has the same facilities as the men's, you know, things like showers, spa and sauna. It's separated from the men's locker room by an office, which the staff mainly use for administrative purposes. As we move on the same side of the corridor as the stairs, you'll see the entrance to the main hall, where they hold yoga classes, aerobics and so on. On the wall here, there is a timetable of all group classes and it is updated regularly. Now, opposite the hall is the gymnasium itself. Go ahead, have a look.
The whole gymnasium.
Impressive, isn't it? Very spacious, light and airy with all the most modern equipment. As we continue down the corridor, past the main hall, on the same side, there is a conference room. This is mainly used when the centre is hosting a big sports event of some kind. It gives the officials a quiet place to gather and have meetings and so on. You'll have seen the 400-metre athletics track on your way in beside the car park. We have some pretty big athletics conventions here. Well, after a strenuous workout, I bet there's nothing you'd like more than a swim in the aquatic complex. But first, these rooms on our right are all part of the sports medicine clinic, where you have access to a doctor, physiotherapist, massage therapist, podiatrist, and even a sports psychologist if you need one. Of course, you'll need to make appointments, but if you have any questions, just pop in and see the clinic receptionist and she'll help you out. Okay, let's go through the turnstile ahead of us. And here we are, in the aquatic centre. Turn left, past the pool shop where you can buy or hire goggles, swim caps and such like, and we're outside, poolside. Beautiful, isn't it? Especially on a day like today. Go on, dip your toes in the water, and if that's not warm enough for you, then I'll take you to the indoor pool, which is less than half the size, but heated to 32 degrees. Let's go back past the pool shop and through the double doors to the indoor pool. Well, that's all I have time to show you.
去咗廁所先，去完廁所翻嚟再吐槽。去咗廁所先。 頻？咩叫有尿頻啊？唔係咯，你有冇考慮過今日成日冇去過廁所？我今日 literally 差唔多瞓咗成日啊！哎呀，真係去個廁所都唔得，真係。你明唔明啊？佢呢條咧嗱，我唔係話錯，我個 chat room 去咗邊啊？可唔可以麻煩出翻嚟，大佬？得搞掂，好唔該晒。今次好聽話啊！即係點講啊？而家個 chat room 咧係咧，我要 cut 佢左 cut 佢右，但佢而家咧隨傳隨到啊！咁是但啦，一樣拉翻雲啦。係啊，你個到尾已經俾 IELTS 斬埋咗，唔係呢一條就唔算太難嘅，我自己覺得。咁問題係咧，即係我唔係話佢啱定錯啦嚇，即係其實我覺得都啱嘅，即係唔俾你哋咧去撞啊！你發唔發覺佢呢度咧1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。1、2、3、4、5、6、7，即係佢有10個位俾你揀，但係你只有7個，即係你冇得咧話聽漏咗2個或者聽漏咗1個咧，只要填晒其他就可以接入去，佢唔俾你咁做啊！佢一定留吉咗幾格喺度要你搏咯。如果你甩咗嘅話，咁好彩我冇甩到啊，不過啱定錯就第二回事啦。好，咁我哋繼續啦，跟住應該就 question 18。
Let's go back to the reception area, and if you like, we can run through some details about opening hours, membership, and so on.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have
啲
some
魔
time
男
to
個
look
真
at
實啊，真
questions
定假啊
18
，Thompson？
to 20.
我希望係啊，我希望係啊，我希望呢個我係做緊一個絕望級嘅難度，呢個咩係 based on 9分而去製造嘅題目啊。ABC Sports Centre is open. Which two services are covered by membership fee? OK， 揀2個嘅。
Now listen and answer questions 18 to 20.
好19、20條。OK。
Now, in this brochure, you'll see the opening hours. The centre is open 7 days from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday, except for public holidays which follow Sunday's timetable. On Saturdays, we open at the same time as weekdays and close a little earlier. So that's 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturdays, and on Sundays, everyone gets a sleep in. You can come in between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Membership fees cover access to the gym, group classes, and the pool. But if you want to join a swim squad to train with a coach, you should inquire at reception for prices and timetables. In the gym, personal training is available from one of our dedicated team of trainers, and reception will have more information on who is free when and what hourly rates apply. However, there is always a certificated instructor on hand in the gym at all times for advice and help. And once your membership is paid, you are entitled to a free health assessment, and you'll get a program designed to meet your own particular needs. You'll need to book a time for this with the gym instructor. Now, if you're a mum or dad, remember you can leave your children in the creche. They take babies from 6 weeks old. Bookings are essential though, and you'll have to check the website for times and pricing. Members are also entitled to tennis lessons on a Tuesday or Thursday from 9 till 10:30, but bookings are essential, so ring Natalie. Her number is here in the brochure to reserve a place. Well, I think that's it. Any questions?
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
嗱 ，swim squad 一定唔係。Which two services are covered by the membership fee? 哇死火啊！淨係得 swim squad 一開始佢講話一定唔係啦。Child minding 佢有講過喎，可以睇住啲細路。Program design 就係揾個機 G master 過嚟去咩啊嘛。 唉，冇辦法，我剝俾佢打爆，然之後入去打爆翻佢，make 唔 make sense 定？剝唔 make sense 係嘛 ？OK，我哋繼續做落去先啊！好啊，佢呢度有個 chart 喺度，見到眼冤啊！真係。21唔喺度，跟住26至30係 complete the full chart。OK，write no more than 2 words。好。
Now turn to Section 3. Section 3. You will hear a conversation between a research student, Jeremy, and his supervisor. They are talking about the process of having a research project published in a journal. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25.
Right,乜嘢 keep part 1 checklist relevant, have 2 academic advisors read over your 乜嘢, choose the journal you want to submit to apply the journals 乜嘢 to your article, sign the 乜嘢. Okay.
Listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
So, you're nearly ready to submit your article to an academic journal, are you?
Yes, I think so. I just wanted to go over all the things I need to do before I submit it. And then I wanted to go over the submission process with you.
Great. So, firstly, you need to write an abstract. Make sure it's short and concise.
Of course. I forgot all about that. And what about key words?
Yes. A lot of students overlook this part and just jot down whatever comes to mind. But take some time to make a list of keywords that are accurate and relevant.
Okay. Another thing. Could you have a look at my article before I submit it?
Absolutely. Actually, at least 2 senior staff members should always read through a final draft before submission. Do you mind if I give it to Professor Johnson to have a look at as well?
Not at all. I'd be glad to have the feedback.
Do you know which journal you want to submit to yet?
Not yet. I have a short list of about 3 that I'm interested in.
Make that decision soon, because you'll need to adjust your article so that it matches the style guide of the journal you are submitting to.
I bet that can take a while.
Yes, but after that you are just about ready to submit. One more thing, you'll have to sign the copyright form, just confirming that it's your own work, and then you're good to go.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30.
Acceptance or 乜嘢 revise and send back with a 乜嘢 OK submit OK 我估第一個係 final draft submit 乜嘢 check email for 乜嘢 OK 好 revise and send back with a 乜嘢
Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Now, the submission process. How does it work exactly?
Well, the first thing is to just send it off. You've got to send in the manuscript before anything else can happen.
Sure. And then should I call to check if they have received it?
No need for that, no. All you have to do is just log on to your email regularly, because you will get a submission confirmation once they have processed the manuscript.
And that will have comments on what they thought of it?
No comments yet. That email is just to let you know they have received it. The next stage is what is known as peer review. This is when experts in the field review your manuscript and decide whether to accept it.
They'll never accept me. I'm only a master's student.
Don't worry about that, Jeremy. It's all done through a double-blind method. That means that whoever reads your manuscript has no idea whether you are a grad student or a Nobel Prize laureate. They'll only be judging your work, not you.
Well, that's good to hear. And then what, once they've made their decision?
Well, there are 4 possible outcomes. You might get an acceptance, but a first-off acceptance is very, very rare. Don't pin your hopes on it. You could also get a rejection, but these don't happen very often either. I don't think this will be a problem.
What do you think I'll get?
If you're very lucky, you'll get a conditional acceptance. This means that they've accepted the article and it will be published, but you need to tweak a few things first. A sentence here, a heading there, nothing major.
That sounds good.
But to be honest, you will probably end up with a revise and resubmit. This means they are definitely interested, but you will need to rework the paper before it's accepted. The necessary changes will be outlined by the reviewers.
Okay. So I just fix the things that need changing and present it again?
Yes, but include a cover letter that discusses the changes you have made. The same goes for a conditional acceptance, actually. It helps the reviewers see that you've taken their criticism seriously.
That is the end of section 3. You now
有
have
要
half a
點
minute
算啊
to check your answers.
咩叫 manuscript 啊？我覺得我開呢個台係 show 緊自己個下限俾大家睇咯。大家明啊？比奧世界嘅人咧，其實英文咧冇大家想象中咁好啊！你見我平日成日講英文咧，但係我呢啲係一劈屎咁樣啊！大家見到我做到，你睇下漏空咗2格㗎陰公，我都未入 final part 啦，已經漏空咗2格啦。跟住中間一大堆唔知有冇串錯字或者乜嘢哦 Jesus 咩叫 peer review 啊？咩啤梨 review 啊？咩好易 peer review 係腳本咩？我唔知啊，我真係唔知啊，我真係唔知啊。聽講 IELTS 好易失，你聽邊個講啊？我就聽啲人講話好易誤咯。啊！即係呢個獻醜啊！咁至於我決定改咩啊？我決定改咩啊？改呢個今日個台咧。今日個台咧個名咧係叫呢個咩呢個無下限直播，show 緊自己英文差到無下限啊！簡直，因為早晨咪布丁你好啊！今日唔係打機啊，本身係應該打機啊，但係因為呢個啲成做得太差，真係要繼續做啊，繼續操卷啊！我係咪第一個開台操卷嘅 Vtuber？我一開始仲擔心死火做頭半個鐘啲神靈會唔會冇嘢講啊？會唔會好悶啊？估唔到我自己喺度 show 緊自己個無下限俾大家睇咯。你明唔明啊？呢個就係個真正嘅無下限術式啊！聽唔慣啊！唉，好啊，最後啦 final part 啊，最後31至40，唉，等陣先。咩啊 ？IELTS 好易測，上咗堂7.5，攞考又7.5。下次做 DSE， 我唔要啊！點解你嘅英文咁好啊？你英文咁好，搞到我以後唔夠膽講英文點啊？以後講中文算啦，唔講英文啊！開播。
Section 4. You will hear a talk on the importance of soil in organic agriculture. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
If soil is healthy, it is乜嘢 teeming with life such as worms and bacteria. If plants are grown in poor soil, they will lack乜嘢 and human health will suffer. Plants are nourished. 睇 YouTube 睇得多英文自然就好中。我睇電影夠睇得多，我識講咯，唔識寫出嚟咯。
Listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Welcome to this talk on soil science and organic farming. Dirt, soil, earth, loam, mud or dust, it doesn't matter what you call it, is of primary importance in the production of food and other crops. Most people think of it just as a substrate or medium in which plants grow, but it's more than that. It's actually a living entity. Or it should be if it's healthy, and human health is affected by the health of the soil. Healthy, living soil is literally crawling with life. There are the obvious earthworms, which burrow in the soil and help to aerate and improve it, beetles and other hard-backed insects, and various invertebrates like centipedes. Then there are fungi and bacteria, also living forms. Healthy soil needs food, air, and water to help plants grow. And the more nutrients in plants, the more available for humans and livestock. It stands to reason, therefore, that plants grown in poor soil will have few nutrients to pass on to the consumer, whose well-being will be worse off over the long term. So, where do plants get their nourishment? Most of it comes from the soil. Some nutrients are made up of minerals from the earth, while others come from dead plant and animal matter, which is broken down over time by the living insects and other organisms in the soil. Plants depend on these little living creatures to convert minerals and other vital elements into a utilizable form that can be taken up by the plants. And it's a synergistic relationship. In turn, the plants assist those helpful organisms by releasing sugars and enzymes back into the soil. Before I go any further, let's take a look at the structure of soil. Now, if you look at the diagram, you will see that soil is made up of many different layers. Let's start at the bottom. This is the bedrock under all the other layers. The layer above that is called regolith.
等陣，捉到，佢頭先唔係話31字33咩？點解突然間變31字36 ？What？ 我吞前少少，吞前翻少少。
You will see that soil is made up of many different layers. Let's start at the bottom. This is the bedrock under all the other layers. The layer above that is called regolith. Here, the bedrock is slightly broken up, but plant roots don't penetrate this layer. Moving up the chart to the next layer, we come to the subsoil, which contains clay and mineral deposits. On top of that is the alluviation or leaching layer. This is quite light in colour and is mostly just sand and silt. As we get near the surface, we find the topsoil. You will hear a lot of talk about topsoil amongst farmers and other agriculturalists. It's the most important layer of all because it's where seeds germinate and roots grow. Now, at the top of the chart, you will see a comparatively thin layer. This is organic matter that is still in the process of decomposition. It mostly consists of leaf litter and humus. Just think of the surface of the forest floor. Partly decayed leaves and twigs, that sort of thing. As you can imagine, good soil forms very slowly over time, but it can be lost very rapidly through erosion. And, in addition, soil quality can be affected by pollution due to anything from industrial waste to the artificial fertilizers used by conventional farmers, which have been shown to suppress the diverse life forms in the soil. This is why organic agriculture is the way of the future. Let's take a quick look at the conventional system, which is often based on monoculture, production of a single large crop. It relies on chemicals for fertilizer and pest control. It is also becoming an increasingly common practice to use genetically engineered seeds. And more chemicals are used to control insects and fungi, which attack crops in storage and during transportation. Also, did you know that there is no requirement for conventional growers to maintain records of their production practices? Organic growers, on the other hand, choose the most environmentally friendly options for dealing with pests and disease problems, working towards prevention in the first place. Some of the strategies they employ include alternating the crops grown in each field, as opposed to monocropping. Because different plants add different nutrients to the soil, by rotating crops, the soil is naturally replenished. This can do away with the need for pesticides, because the problem insects' life cycles are naturally interrupted. Surrounding crops with green waste can not only conserve moisture in the soil, but it can prevent weeds from springing up, and it also feeds the beneficial microorganisms. When it's ploughed under, it feeds the soil by building more organic matter. Organic farmers often release beneficial insects as predators, which precludes the need for artificial pesticides. Animal manure, combined with green waste materials, correctly composted to kill pathogens and weed seeds, fertilizes the soil in a way that encourages life rather than suppressing it. And, by the way, use of manure in organic farming is highly regulated. In fact, all agricultural inputs are evaluated for their long-term effects on the environment, regardless of whether they are synthetic or natural. To sum up, organic farming is the only sustainable way of feeding the people on this planet, and keeping both the planet and the people in good health.
That is the end of section 4.
Jesus Christ！ 我聽多次一開始佢講乜嘢先？呢個真係鬼佬。
Section 4. You will hear a talk on the importance of soil in organic agriculture. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
Why the hell are you all speaking English? My English is very bad. In the future, I have to be the delivery boy for Chinese restaurants. Dun 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 dun. Sir, here's your Chinese food. Please open the door. Dun 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 dun. Like if you always go to gym, then pre-section should be able AS by common sense 咩意思啊？你講乜嘢 ？Speak Chinese 。This is a Chinese Vtuber channel, sir 哇！黐線，你頭先講話讀 Cam 有幫助，我想講讀 Zoga 都有幫助啊，但前提係仲要記得 Zoga 教過啲乜嘢咯。因為 Zoga 以前係有教過嘅呢啲係有農業啊，呢啲係有教。We go to school by bus 啦，no 啦，Chinese people go to school by riding bicycles。仲要一路踩單車，又噔噔噔噔噔噔。黐線！哇，做乜鬼嘢？哇！你明明嗰下開始咧，我聽到佢呢個，我聽到佢33條突然間開始喺度講 soil 嘅時候，我個絕望感係啲乜嘢？真係超絕望啊！陰公 Me when the Chinese delivery boy arrives at my doorbell 啊！因為你要拉個咪咪眼去開門俾佢。哇！德摩有 cam 嘅真實嗰個冇，我唔知啊，真係其實我唔知佢係特登整爛咗定乜嘢，不過是但啦，照對啦。絕望啊！當我以為第一份好爛嘅時候，第二份 cream 乜嘢顏色叫 cream 啊？有顏色叫 cream 嘅咩？即係咩白色啊？睇下先呢個。65啱啦 ，perfect 30 pounds 好，我個 pounds 完全啱咗 deep Jesus 1.25米 adjustable 50 pounds domain JIFHBCAA DE 所以今日呢個係英文台，係今日呢個梗係英文台。Yeah, this is an English streaming program 。Cream 係忌廉黃，cream 係黃色啊！原來乜 cream 唔係白色嘅咩？牛油係 butter 啊！我為咗合鳩佢，所以講英文，唔英文嘅 IELTS 會再低分啲係嘛？係嘛？呢個已經唔關我講唔講英文事喎，呢個係domain expansion 啊 answer 我聽到話 domain 3我已經估到啦。abstract 啦 ，keywords 啦 ，final draft 啦，跟住呢一個係 style guide。OK。我都好奇點樣 green 嘅，因為我聽唔明佢第一下講咩咯，我聽唔明佢講 cream 咯。跟住然之後 copyright form， 我唔知點樣分開咗佢扣唔扣我分，我唔理啦。manuscript 係 MANU。confirmation peer review 又真係 peer review 喎。OK rejection cover letter living entity。Nutrients, minerals, bedrock, subsoil, topsoil, pollution 屌呢個 final check 嘅時候，我唔記得咗叫 Jesus final check 嘅時候，我唔記得咗佢係 not more than 2 words 啊！1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10，啱好錯10個。OK， 每一份卷減少一個，每一份卷減少一個，我做多10份卷我就可以全啱噶啦，係咪啊？係咪啊？係咪咁樣啊？1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10，我贏10啦！10條好嘢，我壓咗喺10個喺以外有嘢，我好想喊啊！而家，我好撚絕望啊！對於呢個 IELTS 考試，救命啊！我已經想像唔到我去到時我要點做呢份要 cream 啊！你不如直接將我做呢個 cream pie 算啦。They said it was easy. They said if I can speak English fluently, I can pass IELTS exam with no worries. Look what I did. Look what is my result. It's totally fucked up, bro. 我真係考，唔係本來我真係考，報咗名㗎啦。睇嚟我第一個5000蚊喺度掉鹹水海，10% 抽10% 機率抽10次啦，100% 係啊。FGO 五星係1% 啊嘛，所以我抽100抽咧就必定出一隻啦。我大學畢業要求係合格，出國讀書又要考6，出國讀書淨係考6咁少？其實我有 listening 嗰個評分基準嘅，睇下先，佢有評分基準。睇下先，practice test 冇喎 ，IELTS for UK via live skill practice trial test prepare for the IELTS on computer test writing practice speaking practice 呢啲唔講啊，我哋睇下先 ，listening writing 冇喎，冇嗰個 marking scheme 嘅喎。加油啊！而家放棄啊 ！This is some peak 咩 peak Sisyphus moment 即係乜嘢啊 ？Jesus 咩意思啊？佢又冇唉。所以我想問你 IELTS 有冇啲 tips 可以俾我？你哋咁多人考過 IELTS，原來你個個都考過 IELTS。我想問有冇啲咩 tips 可以俾我？繼續做狂操我仲有冇其他卷可以做？我冇其他卷可以做。冇 reading material speaking practice 咩？而家放棄的話就舒服了咁又唔好咁樣。我 free online speaking practice 啊，睇下佢啲題目係咩先。哇 ，speaking 分3 part 添。西佛先，我睇嚿石上山嗰個，好似喺邊度聽過，佢係咪喺邊套戲度睇過？我唔記得咗推舊，我喺邊套戲？我喺邊套戲好似有個咁樣嘅比喻。邊套啊？唔太記得，是但啦，唔理啦。撳個 practice speaking test 嚟睇下先。咩啊 ？Speaking practice test part 1 questions。吓？咩哲學嘢近幾年有 meme，OK？本多中性啊，考得多一定過，不停抌5000蚊落去考，抖 M 狂做 mod，然後考場就會覺得厭。冇啊！今晚我一陣間夜晚翻工，我已經決定狂操啦，冇辦法，我一定要狂操個 listening 咯。即係反而 reading 同埋 speaking 我唔太驚 ，writing 我都唔驚 writing， 因為始終呢啲我唔需要聽人哋講咯，我自己中意寫咩就寫咩啊嘛，係啊。同埋考電腦卷，點解？考電腦卷，我已經報咗現場考。冇啊！我已經呢個報咗現場考，所以睇下今次點先啦。今次 OK， 今次 OK 咪再考。今次唔 OK 先再考電腦卷啦。西法師係神話，我記得佢係神話，係啊。Speaking 上咗堂真係有啲用，第一次考有8 OK。 你喺邊度上啲堂啊？點解揾唔到有啲 IELTS 嘅堂？的其實真係有㗎，真係有人專登教你考 IELTS。好似佢咩 Your hometown or village? What kind of place is it? 咩 What kind of place is 呢個is 呢個 Bill world 啊？A fantasy world 啊 with 呢個 magic and dragons 啊哇 What's the most interesting part of your town village? What kind of job do the people in your town village do? 好啊，我決定呢個自己私底下慢慢 practice 。好，刪咗嘢先。咁呢個我覺得打鋪機啊，點都打鋪機啊。費事呢個封面詐騙，不過冇我之後我都要換咗咁長個封面佢。咁呢個事關咧，近排咧有人，雖然我今次呢一個應該係可能玩一輪唔夠啊，總之我玩到搭正就收皮，因為我即係轉頭我要準備翻工之類嗰啲嘢，係啦，玩到搭半搭正就收皮。之前啲人推介有人推介我要玩啲，就話好多其他 V 玩，佢叫我玩下喎。今次可能玩唔晒㗎，下次繼續咯。Writing 有得背字 pattern，writing 點背字啊 ？writing 唔係寫作咩？寫作你冇得背字啊，即係定係點啊？有幾隻字佢必定俾分你啊嘛？即係例有一專有名詞會俾分你，即係 cream， 即係話咩？你無論寫邊篇文咧，你寫個 cream pie 落，佢一定俾分你咁樣係嘛？學費貴咁，我覺得啦，我覺得即係叫做我相信做多幾次 mock 應該就可以，應該都過到關嘅。不過睇下我今個禮拜六考成點先啦。我今個禮拜六考完之後報個成績俾大家聽下，即係我覺得都係獻醜啊成件事。呢個怕背啲難字，特登寫難字咯。唔係，同埋我聽到咩？我聽到話有 tips 咧，係話呢個你考writing 咧，你唔好寫超字咯，即係你唔好超十幾20字咯，即係你即係唔係超十幾20字，你唔好超20幾30字咯，你超少少好咯。好似話即係你啱啱貼近個字數完咧，係會高分啲嘅。我唔知點解會係咁樣，因為以前一直我哋讀書嘅時候教嘅觀念就係 writing 寫得越多越好啊嘛。背文章結構同埋 first second 嗰啲，即係 firstly secondly 嗰啲又話 firstly secondly 嗰啲，我覺得其實唔使開隻 game。我其實係咪可以呢個？我可以刪 game， 我轉雜談，跟住變雜談，我直接笑死。不過你等我 set 翻好啲嘢先。哇！你等我上一次雜談就係呢個 ACG 2024 3C Jesus Christ。等下先，我要改一改個 chat room 添啊！等一等啊。等我 cut 咁啲嘢先。係啊，你見到咧而家咧 YouTube 佢出嗰個 chat room 咧就係咁樣咯，即係佢會見到個 sign to chat 呢啲嘢，好鬼死麻煩啦，cut 走佢先，cut 走佢先。Top chat 呢個 cut 走佢先，cut 走佢好。咁我冇得拉長佢，跟住我冇得拉長佢，是但啦，就咁樣咯，求其啦，呢個臨急變啦。唔係超字先高咩？唔係就係一直以嚟我哋俾人教就係超字會高分咯。但係我啱啱問完其他考完 IELTS 嘅人就話你反而超太多字咧，你超太多字佢係。即係可能超話成50字，佢已經會扣你分咯。即係你最多就我已經唔記得咗 writing 添。其實我覺得我考得太遲咯。我見到你好多人咧係好早去考 I， 即係可能話叫做好即係可能話讀大學之前已經去考 IELTS 嗰啲。所以以前唔中意 writing 寫到手痛，又本身寫字嘛。我好中意寫 writing， 唔係咁可能因為關我以前讀嘅科時啊，即係我以前喺學院嘅時候讀嘅科時，所以我係比較中意寫嘢多過真係你要求我講嘢或者我聽你講嘅嘢去寫嘢。所以我呢陣嚟即係點講啊？我嘅專注力係我缺陷嚟咯。尤其是呢2年嚟飲酒飲得比較多，所以我覺得我而家專注力係比以前差咗好多。所以我 listening 同埋 speaking 係我弊病咯。但最少 speaking 我有得 prepare 啊嘛，因為你IELTS 嘅 speaking 一開始第一條係必定 fix 死咗係self introduction 同埋呢個佢會根據你講嘅嘢去叫做出問題去俾你。咁其實理論上 speaking 我係有得 prep， 我可以某程度上控制到個考官問我啲咩問題，係啦但係反而講好過寫，我講唔得咯。你見到咧，我講英文咧，我講英文係中意喺中文中間攝咗啲英文喺度，然之後好自然咁講出嚟㗎嘛。但係你要我全英文講出嚟，我又唔得喎，反而係啦。所以呢個就係最大嘅問題啦。IELTS 手字唔通點啊？我走埋話喂，考官你好 ，Good morning 咁樣咩？唔得噶嘛，唔可以咁樣攝啲中文喺裏面，你要全英文噶嘛。記得有老師講過咧，大概有個 range 電腦卷係會幫你計字數。OK， 電腦卷會幫我計字數，即係點樣？即係佢會顯示我嘅字數喺個 mon 上面，即係唔使我自己人手數啊？咁好？但係電腦卷佢係點考？電腦卷你都係要去考場考噶嘛？定係你可以喺屋企考嘅電腦卷？中文，我覺得媽咪你媽咪笑死，點解你個名叫媽咪咁搞笑？Anyway 就係話因為我個腦轉得唔夠快，我 speaking 嘅時候背嘢翻嚟我得，即係大家都知道我讀歷史啊嘛。我讀歷史，我讀好多其他文科，所以我背嘢我係可以一輪嘴背晒出嚟俾大家聽。我講設定，我一輪嘴講晒個設定俾大家聽。但只不過你要我媽咪早晨，所以呢個就係你改自己嘅名做媽咪嘅原因啊，係咪啊？對 mon show 有特別考場 ，OK， 即係佢點？即係你點都要去考我會話咯，電腦卷同埋手寫卷有佢自己各自嘅好處啦。即係電腦卷可能話你打字快嘅咪舒服，但係我啲打字慢，你見到我頭先打字幾慢，我仲會打錯字呢啲咁，可能會比較唔 friend。不過是但啦，睇下今次過唔過到啦。我希望今次過到，今次過到我咪唔使再考電腦卷。今次過唔到，我下次就試下考電腦卷咁樣，係啦。哇！死火 IELTS 比我想象中難。當咗個個話咩？當咗個個話咩？個個話咩？你平時講咁多英文，聽咁多英文，輕鬆8分7分啦。我唔覺啊，我而家要瘋狂操 listening 啊！其他 reading writing 嗰啲都算數啊，我要瘋狂操 listening。喂，但係 listening 錯10條啊，死得啦咁鋪。我唔知錯10條會係幾多？錯10條，我覺得7都好問水。7都好問水，我估6或者6.5之間啦，錯10條。嗱，即係按正常嚟計嘅話，9分滿分啊嘛，有一份卷我哋計下啦，9分滿分，9分滿分嘅40條。咁如果我錯20條就真係4.5分啦，係咪？嗱，9除2係幾多？9除2係幾多？9除2係。9除2係4.5，係啊4.5啊，4點即係我錯20條係4.5。我要幾多？你當咗要6先啦 ，Elf 咯，你當咗要6先，因為6好老實講6真係一個入場券嚟。其實我 aim 梗係想 aim 高啲，我梗係想 aim 7或者8啦，但錯10條我估6.5，係咯，我估6.5。錯11條6，但唔係喎，我又真係唔知佢中間個 range 也太大。42 over 9即係咩意思啊？我第2次 reading 唔知咩事8.5，可能啱啱好對題目。唔係 reading 反而我覺得冇乜問題，因為 reading 我哋以前點講啊？即係以前我仲讀緊書嘅時候，學校係靠咗我一套技巧，我到而家都記得嘅。所以 reading 我覺得要6以上，我應該係冇問題嘅。我應該係冇問題嘅6以上，甚至應該係話雖然我唔講啦，我唔講一陣間貼死，一陣間蹬死自己嘅仆街。你知道我把烏鴉口㗎啦。大約27條，OK， 即係答啱27條就攞6，答啱27條攞6，咁我估30條左右就6.5啦。46 over 9咁計嘅話，OK， 食營多嘅心得一定要落晒所有醬料，我同你講 我同你講醬料好緊要，個麵都唔緊要，個碗都唔緊要嚇，咁真係點樣啊？阿媽咪你食呢個型多係呢個係呢個麵同碗都唔重要，即係你倒晒啲醬落張台度，然之後喺度舐佢舐啲型多醬啦，係咪啊？啊定係點啊？你要叫你想叫我 IELTS 拎啲型多醬過去咧，過去呢個考場嗰度倒上個台面嗰度開始舐啊！我知道型多醬好香，即係黐線啊！咁啊，暫且係咁樣先咯。唉，真係希望大步攬過。唉，求下佢。喂，大佬，我人生好耐冇考過試啊，好乸驚嚟啊！本身以為呢個信心十足嘅考試啊，而家撲街撲直撲到咁樣，我仲要一陣間諗翻改咩封面，一陣間個封面改咩好話算 ？IELTS 個封面我應該揾翻以前自己一幅圖喺度做緊卷，我有冇以前做卷嘅圖都開翻個 file 嚟睇先？呢個 file 十世都冇開過，都唔記得咗裏面以前自己有咩。你去到考場會唔會有尿頻？首先第一我冇尿頻，第二我唔會，因為我入去考試之前，我習慣考試之前我一定會去咗廁所先嘅。係啦 ，IELTS 會為你我會為你洗咗我嘅傳遞，唔好啊，唔好，你唔好對我使出傳遞啦，我求下你。唔係希望好似阿 Thompson 咁講話IELTS 係即係個 mock 係冇，唔係個 mock 係難過現實考好多咯。希望啊，唔係同埋應該係話同埋頭先我一開始都講，我呢份卷係 academic 同埋business 佢兩個混埋一齊嘅。整隻 British Council 嗰隻 poster， 然後 P 個頭上去。喂，定係點啊？攞英國國旗 P 我個頭上去啊！我即刻俾人拉咯！第二日唔係 IELTS 都唔使考啊！嚇！我直接俾人送咗去讀清華大學㗎啦，跟住信我經驗之談啊！好，我信你，我一直都信你哋㗎，我好信你哋㗎，啱唔啱先？啊！一陣間收台去整個封面，然之後今晚收工翻去。唔係今晚收工啊！今晚翻工嘅時候可以操卷啊！同埋我報邊間考？咩叫我報邊間考？我自己報 IELTS 考有分報邊間嘅咩？等我睇一睇先。我唔係想 IELTS 個官網報名，然之後俾錢嘅咩？定係我中咗啲咩騙財陷阱啊？死火啊！入清華順便入埋黨，係啊！你轉頭咧過多2年咧，然之後咩？我突然間咧佢話咩宣傳？突然間呢個黨幹部宣傳啊，話呢個咩啊嚇？呢個2024年啊8月22號啊呢個我哋嘅津路あさひ同志啊，俾我哋嘅國安同志咧帶咗上去呢個深圳度咧去呢個見識呢個祖國嘅偉大啊，順便正式入讀呢個清華大學啊，係咪啊？有分 IDP 同埋 British Council， 我應該係 British Council 啊。係咯，我應該係 British Council。我睇一睇我 email 先，你等一等。我開一開我 email 睇一睇先。IELTS confirmation email。哦，係啊，我係報 British Council 咯。我嚟緊 British Council。咩個 IDP 嚇？咁就好了。OK。IDP 係咩嚟㗎？黐線！我想講我又要一朝早起身，哇好撚攰啊，大佬！我早晚我考 IELTS 前一晚我仲要係翻晏晝更，即係我11點半先放工。第二日一早要去考試，哇！佢一開波考我 listening，我撲撚硬街啊！我真係買即刻灌幾罐 Monster 落自己度先。我而家已經飲緊罐 Monster 啦，飲緊一罐 Monster 都咁樣喎，你話死唔死啊？真係，哎呀陰公啦，陰公！我睇下先有冇我考試嘅圖咧？我冇考試嘅圖喎，點算咧？by the way 咧，你又話炒你老細魷魚，我冇啦。我睇嚟我冇得炒我老細魷魚。唔同公司但 BC 外籍教官比例多啲。佢港島有2個地點，唔係我唔過港島考，講得太遠啦。我喺九龍新界嗰邊考。黐線，講一朝早仲要搭車嘅，唔係搞笑啦，真係。 你睇我頭先，我頭先係喎，你哋遲入嚟咧，唔知咧。今日我遲開咗台嘅，其實因為我遲開咗台嘅原因咧，係因為咧，我準備開台嘅時候，我 set 好晒所有嘢，坐喺度 prepare 緊自己嘅心情嘅時候，我坐喺度瞓着咗咯。係啊，小心 monster 失效之後副作用加倍。唔係，我嚟緊係咩咯？一朝早考IELTS， 即係一朝早考 writing、reading 同埋 listening， 然之後就去到夜晚先至考 oral 咯。所以中間嗰段時間我可以翻屋企瞓覺喎。係啊，跟住翻屋企瞓覺，然之後瞓醒，然之後再出去考，跟住就成日貢獻晒俾 IELTS 我展示晒我嘅全部俾 IELTS 睇啊，但我都未能令佢使出全力啊，我感到非常慚愧。跟住然之後點啊？跟住然之後我要搭機場，我要去九龍站搭機場快線入機場啊，向南啊，向南啊，唔知醒啊，唔會嘅。重要情況下我會知醒嘅，今日係真係好得啦，因為我琴晚翻嚟晏更嘅，今日又早起身嘅。瞓醒第二日咁樣我第二日去第二日落咗去呢個第二日夜晚6點落去，唔該我嚟考 IELTS 啊，然之後話你遲咗成日喎嚇。報咗原版定 UKIV 有咩嚟嘅 UKIV？ 我睇下先。我照你嚟講應該係原版嘅。哦 ，UKIV 係唔係 UKVI 係咩 ？UKVI IELTS 重要嘅嘢會知醒，但開台唔知醒。唔係，今日係特例，好特例。我咁多年嚟，我做咗咁多年，有幾可我係唔記得醒。今日係特例，今次唔計。OK。IELTS for UKVI 是什麼？主要針對前往英國留學或者唔關事，我唔係，我即使嗱我 no offence 啊，即係呢個純粹我自己同英國真係唔夾，所以我係冇諗過去英國留學或者移民去英國嘅。就算係去第二個國家我都唔會去英國，因為英國同香港嘅時差太大啦。其實我有諗過，我有考慮過嘅，但係英國係同香港時差應該係早7個鐘定8個鐘啊嘛，即係同香港即係社交會太難夾啦。如果咪去到又要再識新 friend 咧，即係大家都知道啊，社恐啊，有冇社恐仔咁啊，死毒撚嚟啊嘛，點會識到人啫嘛？小心 IELTS 可以再次成為特例，咁我成為特級就物嘅咯。如果係咁嘅話，係咁本身其實今日。即係其實本身今日係有個公告要同大家講嘅，但係我覺得啦嚇，個時機未到嘅。而且尤其是呢一個公告係關乎到下年事嘅嘢啦，咁所以呢一樣嘢我可能會稍作延遲之後先至會同大家講，係啦。咁上次話今日有個公告啊，咁唔好意思，即係叫做話可能話咗大家咁樣，但係其實即係因為呢一樣嘢其實係比較重要啦，我都想真係完全 firm 實晒所有嘢，我先至想同大家講咁樣，咁就係咯，之後先啦，反正係下年嘅事，咁下年嘅事就之後再算啦，咁樣係啦。去蘇格蘭，其實本身係即係你知唔知其實我嗰陣時即係你唔好笑我啦，你唔好笑我嗰陣時，我係想去蘇格蘭嗰間有間讀 history 好出名嗰間咩 University of Glasgow 啊。你唔好笑我啦，我英文差到咁樣，但係我竟然想去呢個蘇格蘭嘅呢個 University of Glasgow 嗰度讀 history， 因為佢 history 係即係全英國最出名啊嘛，冇記錯的話，係啦。跟住然之後以為你副幹比較重要，副幹嘢係比較重要，係咪去代主角？唔係去代主角，唔係去代主角。上次我去代主角純旅行啫，係啦。咁大家呢個唔需要諗，但係都唔係咩重要嘢嘅，係即係呢個係有影響，但係唔係特別重要咁，而且亦都唔關去代主角事啦，係啊。咁就即係呢個蘇格蘭口音生存到咩？咁我去讀書啫，即係如果嗰陣時諗話去讀書，因為始終我對歷史嘅興趣太大啊，對歷史興趣太大，我真係好想完咗自己以前嘅遺憾，就係我冇得讀 history 咯。即係尤其是我以前冇得，邊會笑人望高處？謝係啦。喂，唔係㗎，有呢個世界你知有幾多即係有幾多人係會即係尤其是喺香港呢笪地方係 即係叫做話呢個即係好中意笑人，因為好中意貶低人之類嗰啲嘢啊嘛，係啦，即係香港地方特別多啊嚇，係咁本身其實以前我 apply 嗰間大學，但即係因為以前即係叫做自己啦，以前佢話我冇讀過即係以前冇讀過相關嘅科目，所以就唔可以 apply for 佢哋 history。咁佢哋其實俾咗幾個其他嘅option 我揀嘅，即係可以去可能去讀其他社會科學嗰啲科啦，但即係叫做話我自己又冇乜特別大興趣咁。要搏翻去 history 又唔係即係咁高期望咁，所以我都最後冇考慮過英國。其實呢個上年嘅事嚟啫，即係上年我冇做 V 期間啦，我冇做 V 期間，其實我自己即係去即係叫真正咁探索緊你呢個世界啦嚇，即係以前我so call話探索，其實我都係淨係去日本喺香港咁樣喺度運我係啦，即係叫做我冇做 V 嗰一年間啦，即係叫做話自己去想嘗試去有好多唔同新嘗試同埋去睇下有咩其他嘅可能性啦。咁其中即係叫做去外國留學啊，或者去外國讀書呢一個係會係一個即係叫做話其中一個我自己覺得可行嘅地方，但只不過話既然佢唔收我 history，咁我亦都無謂過去啦，即係去過到英國山長水遠，過到去人生路不熟要去蘇格蘭喎嚇，即係一陣間過到真係着裙啊！即係我而家大家唔好忘記我1.0嗰條係褲嚟啊，唔係裙嚟啊嗰陣時訂阿 Fumi 訂 cos 服嘅時候，跟住嗰個店家話我呢條係裙啊嘛，即係搞即係俾佢吹脹啊！自己爽就好，唔使其他人讚。Hey you bro，hello，龍王戰甲益力多笑死，點解兩個龍王戰甲益力多出現咗？But steel is heavier than feather。唔係 steel 唔係 steel 係 heavier than feather， 係1公斤嘅鐵同埋1公斤嘅羽毛係一樣嘅。我記得我中過你哋伏㗎，我唔會再中伏㗎呢樣嘢啊！真係係啦，咁呢個所以係咯，大家祝我好運啦！禮拜六呢個考得過嘅話就一天都光晒啦。考得過 IELTS 咩 ？But they are both a kilogram. But that's fresh 話咩叫 fresh 話？fresh 話即係咩意思啊？係啦，咁呢個禮拜六考過咗嘅話咧，咁我就即係叫做話遞信啦。跟住然之後咧，跟住就呢個咦係喎？其實如果我喺蘇格蘭着裙，我係咪可以隨便掀起條裙俾人睇嘅咧？因為我裡面有着褲噶嘛。唔係喎，蘇格蘭人裡面好似冇着褲。蘇格蘭人條裙下面有冇着褲？死火！咁如果佢裏面冇着褲嘅話，咁唔係喎，咁我係咪可以隨便掀起男人條裙嚟睇咧？即係我可以完成我由細到大嘅夢想，就係我可以周街見到人，然之後直接潑起佢條裙嚟睇。要等1至2個禮拜先出 result 嚇 ，IELTS 唔係直接出 result 嘅咩 ？IELTS 我以為係即日出 result 嘅，咁咪死火，咁我咪唔可以遞紙，咁我咪唔可以遞紙，我紙都寫好埋咯，我紙都準備定，我今個禮拜考完，一封信車落個死人老細塊面度。原來樓主係掀起人哋條裙，梗係冇着咧，係咪唔記得1996-630嗰晚？1996年6月30號嗰晚喺天馬南發生啲乜嘢事？我真係唔記得發生，因為1997年6月30號。1997年6月30號，1997年6月30號，1月大月小，2月大小，3月大6小，7月大6月小，6月30號即係最後一日啦。咁即係跟住就1997年7月1號跟住回歸。咁1996年6月30號嗰晚喺度發生咩事？又係發生咩事？啊，唔係，對唔住，1997唔好，對唔住，1997年7月1日嗰日係主權移交，唔係回歸，對唔住講錯嘢，對唔住講錯字，大家當聽唔到。手寫卷好耐先出 grade， 冇啊，破釜沉舟啊！照去啊！破釜沉舟就呢個一出 grade 考唔過啊，直接再嚟下一輪啊！黐線，哇死火！佢1至2個禮拜先出 grade， 咁我咪好揾大咯。如果我考唔過嘅話，我計一計先。24號1至2個禮拜出 grade， 即係我最遲7號出 grade， 我最多可以直接 book 下一輪，係好問水㗎。因為我自己有個 deadline， 我要10月之前我要搞掂。我個 deadline 係10月之前我要搞掂嘅。有咩興奮得過掀裙底？就係掀仔仔嘅裙底啊！You know what I know？ You know what I mean？ 英國佬走蘇格蘭嘅，跟住係咩？係咩？跟住吹起咗佢條裙啊！咁搞笑。咁喺呢個佢達成咗呢個，佢達成咗呢個我一直以嚟想做嘅願望啊！即係我講條仔啊，俾風吹起咗條裙，然之後佢咪當住咁多人面前吹起一條裙俾人睇到晒，都幾正。佢向群眾展示咗佢嘅全部，向群眾展示咗佢嘅全部啊！啊，佢應該唔後悔嘅。啊！呢個今日嘅台差唔多到呢度啦，即係呢個如果今日途中啦即係今日個台一開始途中，或者睇到呢個 Twitter 預告入到嚟俾人呃咗嘅咧，我先同大家講聲對唔住啊，唔好意思，今日入到嚟估唔到係睇住一個英文文盲喺度做呢個 IELTS 卷。咁如果真係叫做遲入嚟有想睇我第一份卷係炒成點咁樣咧，咁我哋即係叫做話碌翻去直播稍早嘅時候睇啦嚇。係啦，咁呢個 I am a part-time worker 咧，就呢個係啊，你入到原來呢度係男童俱樂部，冇啊！我發現咩？我發現呢個為咗避開未來。同埋呢個未來呢個雖然冇機會㗎啦，但係呢個即係始終所有嘢即係呢個世事變幻莫測，所以我要避免將來咧出任何嘅事咧，所以咧我要直接將呢個頻道轉型成呢個男童 Vtuber channel 咁就一定唔會死啊，一定唔會出事啊仲會有威俾你哋，有冇可能？之前唔係講笑。即係呢個開下玩笑，即係亦都唔會開得咁犀利嘅，係啦。咁呢個係啦。對真係呢度係男童俱樂部，唔係 group chat， 唔係咯。其實呢度係記 gym 咯，真正嘅。你可以呢個 make personal appointment 嘅一個記 gym coach。咩開心咗下，Thompson？ 你開心咗下，即係你上呢度變男童俱樂部。你上呢度變男童俱樂部死火！哇！我估唔到呢個熟悉津路會為我自己。唉，好啦，你冇啊！我不嬲都係咁啊嘛！我開台宗旨咪就係話呢個大家喜歡我，大家喜歡睇我咩樣子，我咪 present 嗰一面俾大家睇咯，啱唔啱先？Why are you not gay？ 係啊，好啦，今日嘅台差唔多到呢度啊。咁呢個再一次啦，對比封面或者一開始標題呃咗入嚟嘅朋友，講真對唔住先啦。係啦，咁我哋下個台咧就會玩呢個下個台就會玩呢個叫做咩啊？叫做呢個part-time worker 係啦，即係今日本身揾到封面圖你要睇 DC 睇一睇先。你而家一講我就睇啦，睇先。OK。即係點啊？我 P 我自己個頭上去隔離嗰個唔知點解做 IELTS 卷做到好 high 嗰條，我唔可以消費者委員會告佢啊！喂，呢度粉皮，我唔可以消費者委員會告佢。我做 IELTS 嘅時候做唔到佢咁 high 喎。即係如果大家有興趣可以睇 group， 我唔喺度掉上嚟啦，或者之後你哋睇我封面啦即係呢個有條友做 IELTS 做到個樣好 high 咁樣咧，係啊 anyway 啦，即係一陣間我搞掂封面圖咁我唔該要佢。咁呢個係啦，對於今日俾封面呃咗入嚟或者俾標題呃咗入嚟嘅朋友講聲唔好意思先啦。咁我哋下一個台咧就會真係玩呢個I'm a part-time worker 啦，係啦，咁樣就今個台就係非常之罕有，我亦都唔想再有下一次，我亦都唔希望我有下一次嘅 IELTS 溫書台係啦。IELTS 溫書台咁樣就今日感謝晒各位過嚟睇我台咁樣係 wish me luck 啦今個禮拜去考 IELTS 咁如果考得過我可唔可我要立啲咩束縛啊？我立啲咩束縛佢要考得過開歌會啊嘛？ 嗰陣時我仲記得我2023年頭嘅時候，我講過2023年內一定會開歌會。如果我考得過嘅話，我下年2月前開一個歌會，係啦，差唔多。因為條友感受到 IELTS 嘅核心 high 到不行，唔係一個黐撚咗線咯佢瘋狂操 IELTS 卷，發現自己即使佢係一個鬼佬，佢都做唔到7出嚟，所以佢做到黐咗線啦。咁呢個多謝大家，咁呢個希望大家俾多啲祝福我，咁樣我禮拜6考完係啦。考過咗 IELTS 嘅話，我下年2月前開個歌會啦，就係咁樣。係啦，歌會難得一身好本領唔一定淨係唱廣東話歌嘅，可能唱呢個唱日文歌咧，大家都知道我嘅歌喉係幾咁犀利㗎啦，係嘛？好啊，咁呢個未食晚飯嘅，祝各位食一餐好食嘅晚飯啦。瞓覺嘅話，祝各位發個好夢啦。咁如果好似我咁樣今晚翻夜班嘅話咧，就祝各位咧呢個今晚咧工作冇咁辛苦啦，輕輕鬆鬆入到朝頭早咧就放工咁樣，係啦。咁呢個感謝各位，我哋下個禮拜開台見啦。下個禮拜應該都係禮拜，我睇一睇下個禮拜幾號開台先。下個禮拜有機會禮拜2開台。係啦，下個禮拜有機會禮拜2開台或者禮拜3開台咁樣，係啦，不過我知我講咗好多次㗎啦，係啦，我知我講咗好多次嘅，不過我都要時刻提醒自己，就係話呢個遞咗字之後啦，遞咗字之後，如果時間鬆動啲嘅話咧，會增加翻個開台次數，咁樣去就係叫做多啲節目俾大家睇嘅。咁而且本身其實 FF 嘅節目咧，短期內會即係 FF 嘅節目，因為我另外 partner 嗰邊出咗事啦，咁所以會延後多一段時間先嘅。咁始終即係呢啲講解台啊，或者就係叫雜談台，準備多啲會比較好啦。咁而且即係叫做話遞咗紙之後，其實我自己會有一個一直以來好想做嘅節目，我會做啦。咁但係嗰個節目就會做多啲功課先嘅。咁到時咁而且我都唔想咁快公佈住啦。係啦，咁費事即係叫做話俾一個空歡喜大家，或者俾一個空期待大家。咁我即係叫做話係啦，盡量去準備啦。咁準備完之後，希望大家會中意嗰個節目。咁始終嗰個都係我自己中意做嘅節目嚟嘅。咁嗰個係得1集嘅啫，嗰個係最多兩集啦。嗰個1-2集會完嘅事嚟㗎啦。係啦，咁都會係啲講解系列嘅台啦。咁係啦，歷史台同聖經台盡快啦，盡快啦，係啊，係咁啦。咁呢個今日嘅直播到呢度，咁感謝各位今晚過嚟睇我台啦。咁我哋下個禮拜2或者禮拜3咧就打機台再見啦。好啊，咁呢個拜拜。